Hello, I'm Natalie Hoydel, an Extension Educator for Local Foods, and I am going to be sharing some different ways to garden with containers today. Using containers is a great way to grow vegetables, herbs, and flowers on balconies, sidewalks, patios, and even in windows. There are a few key considerations to help you grow plants successfully in a container. The first step is to choose plants that will do well in a container environment and in your space. First, choose plants that meet your goals. What do you like to eat? Are there plants that you like the smell of or plants that attract insects that you like to see? Tomatoes, peppers, herbs, cucumbers, beans, and flowers are all great choices for containers. Plants that take up a lot of space, such as broccoli and pumpkins, are typically not a good choice for containers. While usually we only think of annual plants for container gardens, perennial fruits like strawberries, raspberries, and even blueberries are also popular container plants. Many seed catalogs and plant labels list characteristics such as bush habit, compact, or performs well in containers. Select these varieties when possible. When choosing multiple plants for a single container, make sure they have the same or similar light and moisture needs. Think about the amount of light available in the area that you want to grow plants. In environments with a lot of light, such as south-facing balconies, you can produce almost anything, including fruiting plants like tomatoes and peppers. In lower light environments, such as north-facing balconies or even a window, stick to plants that do not need to flower, such as herbs and lettuce. Consider locating your containers close to your water source to avoid the work of carrying watering cans or hauling hoses. The next step is to choose a container. Containers can be made of various materials: ceramic, terracotta, metal, or plastic. They can be troughs, buckets, yogurt containers, or literally any container that can hold a plant and soil. Be creative and look for different containers that you can reuse for planting. Pots made of terracotta clay are commonly used for planting. They can be fragile and will dry out quickly because the clay is porous. Large clay and ceramic pots are heavy and can be hard to move around. However, they aren't as likely to tip over. Containers made of plastic or resin will keep soil moist longer. They are relatively lightweight and can be more easily moved. They are also less likely to break and can be left outside during the winter. Choose something with a hole in the bottom, or make your own holes to allow water to drain. Use clean, food-grade containers for plants. Don't use items that previously held industrial chemicals, oil, or petroleum products because residues can leach into plants and ultimately your food. Make sure the container is large enough to allow your plants to grow to their full size without becoming too crowded. Consult the seed packet or plant label for the mature size of your plants. Small containers, such as yogurt containers, are well suited for herb plants and succulents. 1 to 2 gallon containers are well suited for smaller plants like hot peppers and annual flowers like zinnia or cosmos. 3 to 5 gallon containers work well for plants like tomatoes, bell peppers, or miniature herb gardens. Plants that tend to climb, such as beans, peas, cucumbers, and tomatoes, will need additional support. You can be creative with your materials, but commonly used materials are coated metal or plastic stakes, bamboo sticks, and tomato cages. Next, choose your potting soil. Soil straight from your yard or garden will not work well in a pot. Containers are unique environments that require soil that both drains well and also holds on to some water. As such, the easiest option is to purchase soil labeled as potting mix or potting soil from your local garden or hardware store. These mixes tend to be made of materials like bark, peat, sand, and other natural materials. For plants like succulents and cacti, choose a cactus mix which has more sand and drains better. Once you've chosen your container, soil, and plants, go ahead and plant. Wait until the risk of frost has passed or start your plants indoors. Fill the pot about 3/4 of the way full and add your plants, and then fill the pot the rest of the way with soil. Pack the soil down gently so that the plant is secured and water right away until the soil is saturated. Plants grown in containers need to be watered more often than plants grown in the soil. Water daily, and during very hot, dry weather, you may even need to water twice per day. Your soil should remain moist, but not too wet. You can always move your plants indoors on days when the weather is very hot and dry. Adding mulch, such as wood chips, straw, or grass clippings to your pot can help to retain moisture. Finally, plants in pots can become nutrient deficient, so you should plan to fertilize them fairly regularly. Some potting soils have enough nutrients to support plants for 3 to 6 months. Read the label to find this information. You may need to add supplemental fertilizer. Water-soluble fertilizers are immediately available to plants, and it's usually better to use a little bit every couple of weeks rather than adding it all at once. Organic fertilizers, such as composted manure products, take time to break down, so you can add them to your soil at the time of planting. Read the labels to understand how much fertilizer is needed for the volume of soil you're working with. At the end of the season, you can compost the soil from your containers. Wash and sanitize your containers and reuse them next year. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Happy planting!